Okay, kill 'em all. That sounds like a plan, Mika said, smiling brightly, looking out of the window. So, how exactly are you gonna do that? She said, looking up towards the blue light once more. Do you have, like, lasers or cannons or something? Please tell me you have cannons. I would love to see them explode. Well, no. Unfortunately, I don't have anything like that, Mika. My current physical format lacks any solid hardware of that nature. Currently, my body is mostly comprised of microscopic machines, nanotech. These machines are what form my body. They did have some sort of physical state originally. I unfortunately lost the files during whatever event caused me to lose my data. So, not knowing what physical form to take, the nanites simply created a form that would be capable of harvesting the materials necessary for reconstruction. They just didn't know what to reconstruct into. So I kinda sort of just became what I am now. So as far as weapons, I don't have any. At least not any that fire guns or lasers. However, I doubt that they'll be necessary, the voice exclaimed to Mika. Based on your memories of the ship, its weaponry isn't powerful enough to destroy my nanite composite body, so I'm not in any danger. I'm able to produce a field of energy and a solid form substance around you, so you're not in any danger either, even if they do fire on us. Okay, but so if we don't have guns, how do we take them out? Well, I thought that'd be obvious. I just do it the same way that my nanites have been doing it from the beginning. We're going to eat them, which will in fact help me a great deal. Currently, I don't have any sort of propulsion systems or any other very important systems, like life support, which I think you're eventually going to need. The amount of oxygen that is contained within the sphere that you're currently in is all that I have. Eventually, that's going to run out, so before then, I should probably absorb a functioning life support system. What? So you're telling me that you can just absorb systems from a starship? Well, yes, the voice replied to Mika. As I said, I was originally a starship, and as I don't have time to construct functioning life support systems fast enough to keep you alive, it would be best if I simply take them. I'm able to scan anything that I come in contact with. So, once I come in contact with the ship, then I can get detailed scans. After that, I can simply take whatever I need from it. Honestly, it's not that impressive a vessel. I assume what I will gain from it will be minimal. However, for the moment, every bit will help. So, you're gonna eat the ship? Yeah, basically. That is so cool! That's way better than a cannon, Mika shouted. In fact, I think that needs to be like your primary thing. In fact, you named me Captain, right? Mika shouted, still staring up at the blue lights. Well, yes, of course, you're the captain. Okay, so my first order as captain is that eating other ships be your primary means of attack, because that is just freaking awesome. Well, glad to hear you're a fan, the voice replied. Now, how about we get this show on the road? The voice said as Mika began to feel a shift as the momentum of the massive figure began to move through the field of debris towards the vessel in the distance. Meanwhile, on board the starship that Mika had just left, the captain and his crew were having a joyous celebration. I can't believe that stupid bitch. Thought she could do me in. So, what do you say, boys? You guys having fun? Does your captain know how to throw a party or what? The man said, smiling, as the other members of the crew that had gathered in the docking bay raised glasses, bottles, and mugs with drinks, cheering on their captain. Yeah, well, it looks like another one goes bye-bye. She should have known better than to mess with our captain. I'm telling you, boss, one day you're gonna run this whole sector. Have it under your thumb. Well, don't you just know how to kiss ass? The captain replied to his men. I like it, he said laughingly, before an announcement called over through what seemed like a set of speakers, an announcement system of some kind. Captain, alert! Shit is going down! Something's going on with the Kraken! The voice exclaimed as the laughter in the docking bay suddenly came to an end. Many of the figures began staring out through the field into space to see the form of the Kraken shifting. Before, its form seemed very gelatinous, ebbing and flowing as if it were made of a liquid. But as all of them gazed out into the distance of space, looking towards the Kraken, they began to note that it was changing. It almost seemed to be becoming more solid, as if its fluidic form was hardening. It still held a very squid-like shape, but several of the tentacles seemed to point forward and become rigid, while the larger body mass also became rigid, but also more pointed, the entire thing beginning to angle in their direction. What the hell is going on? It's never done that before, the captain shouted, peering outside of the field to the Kraken. Several of the tentacles still maintained a somewhat liquid form, and suddenly began to pull themselves toward their ship. What the hell? Jackie, get me propulsion! We need to get the hell out of here, now! The captain shouted into a communications device. I'm working on it, Captain. You said to put everything on hold. We took the core offline. We've been working repairs. It's gonna take a minute to get it back up, the voice exclaimed over the speaker system. We do not have a minute. You tell everyone to move their asses. That includes you goons, he said, shouting at the other men in the docking bay. Move now, he shouted, as all of the men scattered off, beginning to run about, each running to try to achieve their specific duty. I need everybody who's anybody working the engines. I need them back online now. Until the engines are active, raise shields. Weapon systems, target the Kraken, and give me any propulsion you got. I don't care if you're kicking buckets to move. Get this fucking thing moving, the captain shouted belligerently as he began darting back into the ship, moving towards the control room. He needed to get to the captain's chair, find a way to get himself and his crew out of there before whatever it was that the Kraken was doing found its way to them. What the hell is going on? This doesn't make sense. The Kraken's been wandering this segment of space for nearly 400 years, and I've never heard anything about it doing anything like this. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? He shouted as he darted his way into the captain's chair in the control room. Come on, people, tell me what the hell's going on. Our engines are still down. We're working on getting them up, someone said from a set of controls nearby. We've raised shields, and we've targeted weaponry, another individual shouted from his own set of controls. Sir, I've engaged propulsion. Currently, all we have is minor impulse. Our primary energy reserves are running low because of the shields, and because the core is offline. We're not moving very fast at all. Current projections say that the Kraken will catch up with us in under a minute. It's moving towards us very quickly, sir, and having to maneuver around all of this debris is causing us to lose time. Are you telling me you can't do anything about this? Sir, it's a choice. If we keep our shields up, then we can't have maximum impulse. That means we can't go faster. But it's a double-edged sword, sir. If we cut off our shields and go for maximum impulse, then we've got no defense. This entire place is a minefield of debris. With no shields, we could be looking at massive amounts of damage if we try to fly through this at high rates of speed. If something gets lodged in one of the engines, we won't be able to move at all. Basically, sir, there are no good choices. Shit! How the fuck did this happen? The captain shouted, gripping into the armrests on his chair. What the hell is going on? He exclaimed. Sir, we're pulling up visual now, as an image began to holographically display next to the window that peered out into the space that they were traveling through. In the holographic display showed a large silver metallic creature rapidly closing the distance on them. As it did, the long tentacles that had hardened themselves seemed to begin to spread out, widening, and on the ends of them seemed to be barbs, like hooks, that began to spread themselves out across the lengths of the tentacles. What the hell? What is it doing? He said, staring at the screen as beyond the tentacles, a large gaping maw began to open, closing the distance on the camera visual, and thus on the ship itself. This isn't freaking happening. It can't be happening. Why is it happening? He said, staring at the screen, as suddenly he felt a massive jolt in the ship. Sparks flew from several different forms of controls, scattered about the control room. Sir, we've confirmed impact, as the ship itself shook in place. In front of the ship, through the glass view screen, they could see those long barbed tentacles wrapping around. What the hell is going on? What's it doing? The captain shouted. Sir, according to the scans, the Kraken has started eating us. The back end of the ship has been engulfed within the Kraken's form. It's swallowing us, sir. Currently, the shields are keeping it out, but we're starting to lose power. Whatever the Kraken's made of, it's putting a great amount of force on the shields. We've already lost 20% of power reserves. Shit! What the hell is going on? Why is it doing this? We didn't fire on it, the captain said, his heart pounding in his chest, wondering what was happening.